first time.
Are live service games still viable, or are publishers just addicted? We really should ask ourselves this sort of questions as gamers, especially adult gamers that use our own hard-earned money to support this industry. The live service module has been setting games back throughout the years. It's a greedy concept at its core. Let me explain. So basically, the live service model is too often used to push paywalls as aggressively as possible. It is built around recurring spending and retention, cash shop, premium currency, battle passes, daily login, and keeping players engaged for years. Mobile and free-to-play games proved how profitable that model could be, and Western publishers tried to bring that recurring revenue logic into PC and console games, sometimes for games that players had already paid full price for. And that is where the real problem starts. Publishers realizing that selling a game once is less attractive than keeping players inside a spending loop forever. The model can work in multiplayer games. Fortnite already proved that. But even that exception looks exhausted. The layoffs, the statement that Epic is spending more money than it made with Fortnite, which I already mentioned in one of my previous videos. Like, publishers keep assuming Western, European, and Middle Eastern audiences have infinite time, money, and patience for another forever game, but that's just not real. Not to mention, it's very hard to keep creating content that is worth the price they ask for. It's just a huge workload for developers, and you're asking for a lot of trust from your player base. And now we have a huge company like Bungie, barely keeping it together, creatively bankrupt for Destiny 2 content for years, scraping the bottom of the barrel. They tried to do something new, started betting heavily on Marathon, and instead of playing it safe, making a normal multiplayer game, they went the arc-rated route and made another extraction shooter game. A lazy live service bet while they were already struggling. But why? Why are we doing this? Why should a game stay alive for so long without any active work being done on it? Basically on live support for so many years. It's not fair for the developers, it's not fair for the gamers, and it's definitely not fair for these other companies that keeps deluding themselves that live service game is the way to go. Now, Bungie is basically repeating the same mistake they did with Destiny 1. This concept of chasing the live service dragon and money at best is counterproductive. At worst, it's harming the ecosystem of the gaming industry altogether. Look at Highguard, look at Concord. These two got fucked right out the gate, and you had the cash shop ready and waiting instead of focusing on the gameplay and game itself. Look at Helldivers 2. While it is a lot more successful than the former games, the company is struggling to keep being profitable while also enjoyable. So much so, they keep running into these trust problems. Players unlock weapons or pay into war bonds, then balance patches comes out that can make those weapons feel obsolete. Look, I'm not saying every nerf is some evil conspiracy, but in a live service game, every patch becomes a trust test, ruining the game experience and maybe even forcing players to play a certain build that they don't want to go for. Like, these are not ranked competitive multiplayer games. Gun changes aren't the same kind of competitive fairness requirement. This is a PvE co-op game. Why are we doing these changes? I'll tell you why. To keep the live service alive. To keep making money off the back of players who had already paid $40. Well, if $40 is not enough for me to enjoy the game, is it worth it for me to keep playing? And a lot of players are feeling the same way, which is why the game's popularity dropped throughout the years. Listen, if I had it paid initially, why do I have to keep grinding for hours and hours and hours, or pay that extra $10 every time a new gun or content is introduced? Is this the only way I can properly enjoy this game or keep up with the meta? We are witnessing the downfall of this practice live. Every new game that has a live service module is barely retaining players, yet we still have people deluded that this is not happening and that somehow it's a targeted attack against a certain company or group, when in reality, this business model is unsustainable and destined to fail. Multiplayer games are not dying out, it's just that model. Since we still have games like Deadlock alive and kicking, keeping player retention, it really is not an impossible task. You need the game to be fun, you need the game to be more nuanced, and you need to stop from paywalling normal fucking content in your games. We are not done with multiplayer games. We're done with lazy live service module. We are done with games launching like business plans first and games second. Man. I truly believe that live service games gonna die out in the near future. What do you guys think?